They won't always celebrate when you rise. Some will smile to your face, but deep inside, they're waiting for the moment you stumble. And the hardest part? You can feel it, not through words spoken aloud, but through the silence, the cold glances, the subtle shift in tone when your success enters the room. Maybe it's that colleague who stays quiet when everyone else congratulates you. The friend who suddenly changes the subject the moment you share good news. Or even family members who act supportive on the outside, but whose eyes reveal something far different. A quiet resentment they can't hide. This is the hidden poison of envy. And if you don't recognize it, it can seep into your spirit, making you question your worth, shrink your victories, or dim your own light just to keep others comfortable. But the Stoics understood something powerful. Resentment is never about you. It's about the battles another person hasn't won within themselves. Your responsibility is not to carry their bitterness. Your responsibility is to see clearly, stand firm, and protect your peace. In this video, we're going to uncover 7 psychological signs that someone secretly resents your success. These are the subtle behaviors, the little cracks in the mask, the signs you can't afford to ignore. Because once you learn to spot them, you stop doubting yourself and start standing taller in the truth of who you are. 1: They downplay your achievements. Sometimes, resentment doesn't show itself in outright hostility. It shows up in subtle ways that almost make you doubt if you're imagining it. One of the clearest signs is when someone constantly downplays your achievements. You finally accomplish something that took you months of hard work. Maybe a promotion, a new skill, or even a personal milestone. Instead of celebrating with you, they shrug and say, "That's not a big deal. Anyone could have done that." Or they find a way to compare your success to theirs, just to remind you that they're still ahead. It's not that your achievement lacks value. It's that your progress shines a light on their own lack of effort, their own insecurities. And instead of looking inward, they try to minimize you, to keep you from shining too brightly. This is dangerous, because when it happens often, you start to question yourself. You begin to wonder if maybe you are overreacting, or maybe your success isn't that impressive after all. And that's exactly what resentment wants, to shrink you down to a size that makes others feel comfortable. But here's the truth. No matter how small or big your win looks to others, it's a step forward in your journey. The Stoics remind us that progress is not measured by applause, but by growth. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, your growth may not impress those who secretly resent you, and that's okay. It's not supposed to. Their inability to celebrate you says nothing about your worth. It only reveals the weight of their own envy. Your job is not to shrink yourself down to make them feel better. Your job is to keep growing, to keep moving forward, and to let their resentment stay exactly where it belongs. With them, not you. 2. Their support feels forced or absent. Sometimes, the people who should be cheering you on the loudest are the ones who clap the softest, or not at all. Think about it. You just achieved something meaningful. Maybe you got that promotion at work. Maybe you started a business. Maybe you finally committed to changing your life. You're proud, you're excited, you share your news, and the reaction? Flat, half-hearted, almost as if your success inconvenienced them. They'll mutter things like, "Oh, nice," or "good for you." But you feel the weight behind the words. It's not joy, it's not pride, it's something else, something hollow. And sometimes it's even worse. Silence. No message, no congratulations, no acknowledgement at all. Almost like your win never happened. And that silence can cut deeper than any insult. Because deep down, you know that if the roles were reversed, you would have been there for them. You would have celebrated them. This is one of the clearest signs someone secretly resents your success. Their support feels unnatural, like they're forcing themselves to play a role they don't want. Or it feels absent, because deep down, they can't bring themselves to lift you up. Here's the painful truth. Resentment doesn't always show up as hostility. Sometimes it shows up as indifference. And indifference can make you question yourself. Am I doing something wrong? Did I not deserve this? Why don't they care? But you need to remember this. Their lack of support doesn't define your worth. It defines their limitations. The Stoics taught us to see clearly, to separate what is within our control from what is not. You can't control someone's jealousy. You can't control their bitterness. But you can control how much power you give it over your peace. So when their cheers sound forced, when their silence feels heavy, don't shrink yourself to earn their validation. Keep moving forward. Because the truth is, some people will never celebrate you. Not because you don't deserve it, but because they can't stand seeing you rise where they remain stuck. And that's their battle, not yours. 3. They subtly compete with you. Sometimes resentment doesn't come out as silence or indifference. Sometimes it comes out as competition. Notice how certain people can't let you have your moment. You share your success, and instead of celebrating, they immediately counter with something they've done. You say, "I've been exercising and lost 10 pounds," and suddenly they're telling you about their new diet that's even better. You talk about your promotion, and they pivot into how much more responsibility they're carrying at work. It's not always loud or obvious. It's subtle, a quiet race you never signed up for. But you feel it. You feel the undertone. You're not allowed to shine brighter than me. This is what psychologists call one-upmanship. It's not about sharing joy. It's about reclaiming ground. They need to bring themselves back into the spotlight because deep down, your success feels like their failure. And the danger here is that you can get pulled into the trap without realizing it. You start defending yourself, proving your worth, or even competing back. But the Stoics would warn against this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Meaning, when someone competes with you out of insecurity, don't waste your energy trying to beat them. The moment you play their game, you've already lost peace of mind. The truth is, real support doesn't compete. Real friends don't need to outshine you. They see your win as their win. And if someone can't do that, if they constantly turn your joy into a contest, it's not admiration. It's resentment wearing the mask of rivalry. So, when you notice subtle competition, the need to outdo, outshine, or redirect attention, step back. Don't feed it. Don't argue. Let your success speak for itself. Because nothing disrupts resentment more than your quiet consistency. You don't need to compete with anyone. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Keep your eyes on your own path. Because the people who truly care about you, they'll clap for you, not compete with you. 4. They avoid or change the subject. When you shine, not all resentment comes in the form of competition. Sometimes it shows up in silence or in an abrupt shift of conversation. Think about it. You've just shared good news. Maybe you got accepted into a program, landed a promotion, or finally reached a goal you've been working on for months. Instead of excitement, the person in front of you quickly changes the subject. They steer the conversation towards something else, as if your win never happened. It's subtle, but it's telling. Because people who truly care about you lean in when you share your light. They want to know more. They ask questions. They celebrate with you. But when someone avoids it, when they cut the moment short, it's often because your success is a mirror reflecting back their own frustrations. Psychologists call this avoidant behavior. It's a defense mechanism. Instead of dealing with their own envy or insecurity, they dodge the conversation. It's easier for them to dismiss your success than to face their feelings of being left behind. And here's where it can hurt the most. Sometimes it's not a stranger. It's a close friend, a sibling, even a parent. The very people you hoped would be proud of you are the ones who look away. That's a hard truth. And it can leave you feeling unseen, unworthy, even questioning if you should shrink your joy just to keep them comfortable. But here's the Stoic perspective. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Their avoidance is not your burden to carry. It's their inner struggle. You cannot make someone clap for you if they're committed to silence. So instead of seeking validation from those who withdraw, shift your focus to those who genuinely celebrate you. Even if it's just one or two people, that's where your energy belongs. Because real love, real friendship, real support, it doesn't run away when you shine. If they change the subject, let them. But don't dim your light to match their shadow. Keep speaking your wins. Keep sharing your joy. Because the right people will not only hear it, they'll echo it back. 5. They highlight your flaws instead of your progress. One of the clearest signs of hidden resentment isn't silence, it's subtle criticism. Picture this. You've just shared an achievement. Maybe you bought your first home, finished a marathon, or started your own business. Instead of celebrating with you, they immediately point out the cracks. "Yeah, but isn't that neighborhood kind of far?" "Good job, but a marathon is really hard on your knees." Or the classic, "That's nice, but don't get too comfortable, it won't last." What they're doing is shifting the focus away from your progress and onto your imperfections. It's not about being realistic or keeping you grounded. It's about their inability to handle your growth without cutting it down. This is what psychologists call deflection through criticism. It's a defense mechanism. By drawing attention to your flaws, they protect their ego from feeling inferior. Because if they admit you're doing well, it forces them to confront their own lack of effort, discipline, or courage. And the damage here is deeper than you might think. When someone you care about constantly highlights your flaws, you begin to internalize it. You start thinking, maybe they're right. Maybe I don't deserve this. That's how resentment works. It plants doubt where there should be pride. But here's the Stoic truth. Progress is never perfect. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that flaws are part of being human. The presence of imperfection does not erase achievement. In fact, it makes achievement even more meaningful because you succeeded despite the flaws. So, when someone highlights your flaws instead of your progress, recognize it for what it is, a projection of their resentment. And here's the shift. Don't argue with them. Don't try to prove your worth. Instead, anchor yourself in your own progress. Look back at how far you've come, not how perfect it looks to others. Because the truth is this: people who love you will still see your flaws, but they'll choose to celebrate your growth anyway. That's the difference between love and resentment. One lifts you up. The other tries to quietly pull you down. So ask yourself, are the voices around you fueling your confidence or feeding your doubt? And if it's the latter, it might be time to step back and protect your peace. Sixth, they distance themselves from you. Sometimes, resentment doesn't show up as words at all. It shows up in silence. And one of the clearest signs someone secretly resents your success is when they begin to distance themselves from you. Think about it. You used to be close. They called, they invited you out, they wanted to know what was happening in your life. But now, the phone barely rings. The conversations are short. And when you do share your wins, the energy shifts. Suddenly, they need to get going, or they disappear for weeks at a time. Why does this happen? Because success has a way of holding up a mirror. And not everyone likes the reflection. When you grow, your progress can make someone else feel stagnant. Instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. Instead of leaning in, they pull away. This is what psychologists call avoidance as self-preservation. By creating distance, they don't have to face the uncomfortable reminder of what they haven't done or what they wish they had. But here's the truth. Their silence isn't about you. It's about the storm they're fighting inside. Still, that doesn't make it hurt any less. When someone you care about slowly fades from your life, it feels personal. You ask yourself, did I change? Did I do something wrong? But the Stoics remind us, never confuse another person's reaction with your own worth. Epictetus said, when someone treats you poorly, remember, they act according to their own beliefs. Their withdrawal is a reflection of their beliefs, not your value. So, what do you do when someone distances themselves because of your growth? You accept it without bitterness. You keep moving forward without begging them to stay. Because the right people won't run from your light. They'll want to grow beside it. Remember this. Distance often reveals the truth. Those who silently step away weren't meant to walk the whole road with you. And that's okay. Your journey is not about dragging everyone along. It's about walking in your purpose, even if it means walking with fewer people. So, when they pull away, don't shrink yourself to bring them back. Keep shining. Keep moving. Because those who are meant for your future will never resent your success. They'll rise with you. 7. They celebrate your struggles quietly. Not everyone who smiles at your downfall is your enemy. Sometimes it's the ones closest to you, the people you least expect. And one of the most painful signs someone secretly resents your success is this. They celebrate your struggles quietly. Pay attention. When life is good, when you're winning, they're silent. No congratulations, no joy. But the moment you stumble, the moment you face a setback, suddenly, they're present. They check in, they whisper, "I knew it," or worse, you see that flicker of satisfaction in their eyes. It's subtle, almost invisible. They won't openly cheer your pain, but their energy shifts. They linger longer on your failures than they ever did on your victories. Instead of offering real support, they hide behind phrases like, "I'm just being honest," or "I knew this would catch up to you." Their words may sound like concern, but underneath it's relief. Relief that you've fallen back to a place where they feel more comfortable. Why? Because your struggles give them validation. Your pain makes them feel less small. Psychologists call this Schadenfreude, the quiet pleasure some people take in the misfortune of others. And the Stoics warned us about it centuries ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of those who envy is to see their neighbor afflicted." It's as true now as it was then. But here's the truth you need to remember. Your failures do not define you. They refine you. While they may secretly celebrate your setbacks, you must use them as stepping stones. because nothing silences resentment more than resilience. The next time you notice someone's joy in your pain, don't take it as proof of your weakness. Take it as proof of their own. Their celebration exposes their heart, not your worth. And instead of shrinking, rise even stronger. Because one day, your comeback will be louder than their quiet satisfaction. And those who once whispered at your struggles will have no choice but to watch you rise again. So there you have it. 7 psychological signs someone secretly resents your success. From their silence when you shine to their quiet celebration when you stumble, each one reveals more about them than it ever will about you. And maybe, as you listened, certain faces came to mind. A friend who never celebrates you, a colleague who downplays your achievements, a family member who only seems at ease when you're struggling. If so, take heart. You are not alone. Many of us have walked this same path, and the truth is, resentment is often the price of growth. But here's the choice you get to make. You can let their envy shrink you, or you can let it strengthen you. You can live small to keep others comfortable, or you can rise, knowing that their bitterness is simply the shadow of your light. The Stoics remind us, your peace, your growth, your resilience, those are yours to guard. Don't hand them over to anyone. Now, I'd like to hear from you. Have you ever experienced one of these signs in your own life? Did someone you love quietly resent your success? Share your story in the comments, not just for me, but for others who might be walking through the same silent battles right now. And if this message resonated with you, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and share it with someone who might need this reminder today. Because together, we rise stronger.